KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, serving Guam for 80 years. Matson and the Adahi Tanu program. Cars Plus reminds you to put your phone down while driving. Distractions won't get you there. Heads Up Guam, IP&E, Fueling Excellence, McDonald's of Guam, I'm Loving It, and King's Restaurant, located in Tamuning and Dedido. Always open, always local.
Coming up on Guam's primetime newscast, your elected senators head into session. Plus, Sabrina Salas-Matanani with the very latest on the fate of the annual Menengan Memorial Ceremony. And one policymaker seeks to update a chemical castration bill enacted in 2015, but never implemented.
Hafide and good evening. The government of Guam is getting set to borrow another $30 million. Senators dissolved into the Committee of the Whole during the afternoon session to discuss the plan to float a bond backed by the General Fund to pay for the construction of a new cell at the quickly filling Luzon landfill. In his opening statement, Budget Director Lester Carlson responds to the most pressing question for solid waste customers. Will this mean a rate increase?
Based on GSWA's projected financial statements for fiscal years 2020 through 2024, which the receiver has said to be reasonable, the government believes that based on a pay-as-you-go plan to fund the post-closure needs at ORDOT, in addition to borrowing $30 million for the Luzon Landfill Cell 3, GSWA is able to absorb such debt service and set-aside amounts without the need for a rate increase.
Officials are looking to fast-track legislative authorization for the financing of a third cell because the two current cells at Luzon could reach capacity by next summer, and they say construction of the cell will require 2 dry seasons to complete. The fate of the annual Menengan Memorial Ceremony still remains up in the air. With more, here's Sabrina Salas-Matanani.
Every year, hundreds of people, including survivors of the Japanese occupation of Guam during World War II, gather in Menengan to honor the lives lost at the concentration camp. But as we reported, there's a dispute over the property, causing a major roadblock to this year's 75th anniversary liberation commemoration. Mark Colby, who represents the Mesa family, says they are the rightful owners, not only where the Menengan Monument is located, but also the access roads leading to it. The Mesa family says the government has not paid a single penny for access and use and never asked permission for a monument to be constructed on their land. The issue has come to a head as planning is well underway for the annual memorial service. Colby says a meeting was held at the Department of Land Management on Wednesday. Acting Governor Josh Tenorio chairs this year's liberation festivities.
So Mr. Borja and Jesse Garcia, the Deputy of Public Works, who is a land expert also in rights of way, are meeting with those members of the family that are on island, the ones that are actually residing in that area. This is a pretty large family, and there's some undivided interest, but I'm pretty optimistic that, that we're doing the research to address the family's concern.
According to DLM Director Joe Borja, during the meeting they presented the Mesa family their maps as well as aerial photos of the property. Borja adding while it is true the access roads leading to the monument do belong to the Mesa family, he contends the land where the monument sits does not. Borja, as the territorial surveyor, will be conducting a survey of the properties in the near future, as well another meeting will be held with the family next week. According to the Lieutenant Governor, he's optimistic the matter will be resolved.
I'm hopeful. Of course, when you're dealing with big families, you never know. But, I think that if we focus in on the whole point of that memorial is to recognize the sacrifice of a large portion of our population. And, I'm hoping that, in that spirit, we'll be able to facilitate the issues. But like I said, our team is working with them, researching a lot of the concerns, and I'm very optimistic that we'll be fine.
The Mesa family says they should be compensated for use of their property. The Menengan Memorial Service is scheduled for July 7th. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Sabrina Salas-Matanani.
The latest with the ongoing disagreement between the Guam Department of Education and the Guahan Academy Charter School related to the use of Building E. GDOE announced last week the building was going to be used for a Chamorro language revitalization center. GACS, however, has been asking to use the facility for extra classroom space to accommodate increasing enrollment. GACS Chief Administrator and former Speaker Dr. Judy Wonpat wrote ADLU to make the final decision. Acting Governor Josh Chinero says he met with both sides.
I'm very optimistic that we'll be able to come up with something that definitely meets the demands of the students of Guam. I just want to say for GACS, right, just analyzing and seeing, I think that there's been some good progress in stabilizing that school. I think Dr. Wampat has a big, good educational vision, and so there's no question there's facility needs. The Department of Education has been doing remarkable work also in meeting the needs of our public school students.
Superintendent John Fernandez says he's looking forward to finding a solution and partner with GACS.
It shouldn't be about facilities. It should be about how we both are improving our public schools as well as our public charter schools. And we look forward to just continuing that conversation. I know that she did make a direct appeal to the governor because I informed her that we're simply tenants, just as she is a tenant in buildings that the government leases. And if the governor wants to find some resolution, we're happy to work with her and the team.
The Lieutenant Governor tells KUAM he is optimistic that in a few days an announcement should be made. The airport says it respectfully disagrees with a Superior Court order yesterday to release transcripts of an April 26, 2018 board executive session. Plaintiff DFS is seeking the information in connection with a long-standing lawsuit against the airport. Judge Anita Sakola found there was a material misrepresentation by GIAA in not producing the transcript. In a news release, the airport says it acted in full candor and was in compliance with law in not producing information that is protected by attorney-client privilege. Airport counsel Genevieve Rapata says GIAA has complied to the best of its ability with the requirements of the open government law. Acting GIA Executive Manager John Kinata says they are reviewing what action to take in response to Sakola's decision. The airport is also awaiting the results of a Supreme Court appeal. It challenged another Superior Court decision last year that voided a 2013 multi-million-dollar retail concession contract to DFS rival Lotte Duty Free. Police arrest one of two suspects involved in a home invasion that occurred Tuesday in Ordot. 24-year-old Francis Jerome Tysakan is accused of breaking into the home, stealing numerous items while the victim was inside. Tysakan and the other suspect fled the scene, leaving the victim unharmed. He was tracked down in Jonia, arrested and charged with multiple crimes, including home invasion, burglary, robbery, theft of property, and criminal trespass. He was booked and is confined. We have an update on the Guamamon statue in Tumon. According to Operations Manager Jenilyn Abinalis, the individuals responsible came forward and offered to pay for the damages. As we reported, it was during a daily check of Guamamon when they noticed a fin on the statue had been broken off. The statue has been situated in front of the sandcastle since 2016. One local lawmaker is hoping to take Guam's chemical castration law one step further, this despite the fact that it hasn't even been implemented in the past 4 years. Julia Santos reports.
Senator James Moylan on Tuesday introduced Bill 137-35 to update the Chemical Castration for Sex Offenders Act. The reason this program has not been implemented since its passage into law back in 2015 is due to conflicting data provided by the American Psychological Association regarding the efficacy of the treatment and the potential long-term effects on convicted persons undergoing the dosing process. Senator Moylan understands the potential risks involved as far as the negative side effects of the convicted offenders.
If they're concerned about that, they should consult their physician. Again, this is just if a condition if they qualify as a sexual predator on juveniles. If they want to get out on parole, then this is something they need to get done. If it's their concern for them and they're considering some side effects that may happen to them and they don't want to do it, then you don't have to do it. Then you can complete the rest of your sentence.
Moylan's bill would require sex offenders to pay for the treatment themselves. But what if the felons can't afford to pay for it? Would the cost be passed on to the taxpayers? According to the senator, if they can't pay, they can't seek parole.
If the felon cannot afford the treatment for the chemical castration, well, then you complete the rest of your parole. If you can't afford it and you're willing to go for that, then you pay for it yourself. I think the government and the taxpayers have incarcerated the person and hopefully got his treatment inside if he doesn't want to complete the rest of his sentence, or rather, I say, come up for evaluation on parole, and wants to get early release, then so be it. But you must then complete this part of the chemical castration.
The senator wanted to make clear that the main intention of his bill is addressing the concern for the victims and creating policy to reduce recidivism rates.
How are we going to prevent this from happening again? Well, here's one way. It may not be a guaranteed that they will no longer do it, or maybe it will work just while they're on parole.
Senator Moylan says it's a mandatory requirement for sex offenders seeking parole.
If you want or wish to be released on parole, which is early release from your confinement, then this is a condition that you must do. You committed a crime against a juvenile and you're pedophiliac, then you need to do certain things. And chemical castration is an existing law right now, and we are just giving more meat to this, more teeth to this, making it mandatory for those that have committed the crime against a minor to either you complete your sentence, or if you want to get out early, then chemical castration is what you need to do.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Julius Santos.
It's a question we get asked on a daily basis, and today the governor's office announced that the Department of Administration and the Department of Revenue and Taxation will be placing checks in the mail in the next 2 business days. The checks are for those who filed up to January 29th, totaling over $4 million. Stick around for more news. You're watching KUAM.
The KUAM News, giving you what you want, when you want, and how you want it. From smart devices, Alexa, what's in the news?
Here's your flash briefing.
Over the web, on mobile, on streaming platforms, with immersive, interactive formats, and via social media where it's more than just content, it's conversation. More ways to keep you informed and entertained whenever you want it, wherever you are, on whatever device you're using.
We value relationships because when we commit,
I love you guys until you're 80, until you're 90, until you're 100, forever.
we are in it for the long run, so you can enjoy the moments that matter. Because when we commit to relationships, we never stop caring. Calvo's Select Care, health care that is always there for you.
The most delicious union of all time is now on Guam. Kentucky Fried Chicken and Waffles for limited time at KFC.
It's Micronesia Mall's 30th anniversary, and to celebrate, we are giving away a new Kia Soul LX, a Mazda 3i Sport, the popular Honda Civic LX, and 30 Manila Flyaways during our 30th anniversary Drive-Away Flyaway. Win 3 great cars from Triple J Auto Group, 30 Flyaways from Philippine Airlines, plus thousands of prizes from Burger King and Foot Locker when you play Micronesia Mall's 30th anniversary Drive-Away Flyaway.
Welcome back. The University of Guam is weighing in on the minimum wage increase debate. UOG will host a seminar next week on the impact of the proposed hike in Guam. Economics professor Dr. Roseanne Jones will be the featured speaker at the seminar. She is also one of the main authors of an economic impact statement that was required by law during the last minimum wage increase. They studied the potential effects of the last $1 an hour hike.
We wanted to see how many workers on Guam were already falling below or at the $8.25, which was the projected minimum wage increase. And when we looked at workers on Guam who were in the average range falling below that $8.25, we only found about 6,000 potential workers at the time, or 10% of the workforce. And we said, you know, that's not going to have a huge impact.
She says most of the lowest paid workers are in the service industries, hotels and restaurants, and many work multiple jobs to make ends meet. But Jones says, contrary to common perception, companies do tend to look out for their workers, which they discovered in their many one-on-one interviews.
I was impressed to hear from our employers of minimum wage workers, when it really got down to it, they said, some of them, that I feel for my workers. I don't know how they do this. I know how expensive it is to live here. and we do the very best we can to help them.
There is also the common perception of what businesses typically do in response to a forced increase in wages: cut employees and raise prices.
And so we asked both of those questions, and the answer to both of them were no. We didn't lay off workers, and we didn't cut their hours. So then we asked, did you raise prices? And they said, no, we didn't raise prices. We couldn't raise prices. And we're like, you couldn't raise prices? They said, for our type of product, we'll have too much competition.
So what did the businesses do, Jones asked?
It drove us to create and expand our business in new lines of business activity. So I smiled at that. I'm going, who would have thought that, in a sense, the increase in this minimum wage spurred business development.
Jones also compares Guam wages to the mainland and talks about what she says is often overlooked in wage debates. What about the salary levels of professionals? More on that in Friday's news. Guam is set to receive the biggest chunk of the $34 million in Compact Impact Grant funding for fiscal year 19. According to the U.S. Department of the Interior, the territory is set to receive $16.8 million, $2 million more than Hawaii. The Compact of Free Association provides funding to affected jurisdictions such as Guam to help defray costs associated with increased demands placed on health, education, social services, and infrastructure to provide these services to individuals who have migrated from the FAS. We should note that the U.S. Census Bureau recently completed its 2018 estimates of Compact of Free Association, or COFA, migrants. The numbers show a 9% increase of FAS migrants on Guam from 2013. DOI Assistant Secretary Doug Demenich acknowledges that although given the funding resources do not meet the needs as outlined by the most impacted jurisdictions such as Guam and Hawaii, the agency has sought other ways to help mitigate compact impact, such as providing financial assistance to nonprofit organizations such as Manelu on Guam, which received a grant of $267,000. The Archdiocese of Agana has begun a search for a new superintendent of Catholic schools after Richard Alvia submitted his resignation. Alvia is stepping down from the position to focus on his 5th year of a doctorate program in Catholic education. While serving as superintendent, he was simultaneously enrolled in the University of San Francisco working on his dissertation. Alvia is also stepping down due to health reasons. When LBJ elementary school students return after the summer break, they won't have to worry about getting wet when they walk from classroom to classroom. Ground was broken today on their long-awaited canopy repair project. The $500,000 contracted award to JRNAC Corporation consists of the demolition of the existing canopy roof systems, and portions of it are funded and is scheduled to be completed over the summer. The Guam Election Commission met today with its board of directors to present its draft of the comparative analysis on the 2018 elections. According to GEC Executive Director Maria Pangilinan, the report includes historical data from preceding elections and legislative recommendations. The report is officially due on June 30th. And now with regional headlines, here's KSBN2 News.
Hafa-Day Guam, here are the top headlines for CNMI.
That's right, Ashley. I'm here outside of the Marianas Visitors Authority office, where there is a new individual taking on this position following the resignation of Chris Concepcion, and her name is Priscilla Maritita Jacopo. Taking on this new position as managing director, did you apply for the position or were you reached out to?
I was reached out to, and then I eventually applied for it.
Who were you reached out to by, the administration?
Yes.
How did you feel having been reached out and been someone chosen by the administration?
I was honored and excited at the same time. So I'm really looking forward to trying to come up with new ways and new ideas and how we can promote our Marianas.
Can you give me a little bit of your background, where you worked prior to coming here?
I worked at the Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation as the Director of Procurement and Medical Supplies.
It's to my understanding that you are the first, quite possibly, the first managing director with no background or experience in the tourism industry. Is that correct?
With hands-on experience, yes.
With that being said, how do you plan to gain support from a lot of our partners overseas and even here that have
experience, or have we've also been in partnership for the past 20 years with?
Right now, I am doing my own assessment. I intend to meet with all of our partners, and that also includes, HandMe, of course, and all of our offshore markets, Japan, China, Korea.
And what would be your first course of action when meeting with these different partners locally and abroad?
Well, I would like to hear them out. I would like to know if they have any new ideas going on. Are there any areas of improvement that we at MVA can help them as well? My goal, of course, we would like to continue to bring a lot more tourists here. Tourism is our economic driven. It's an economic driven for the CNMI. And one of my goals is I would like to explore and, promote adventurous and ecotourism here in the CNMI.
Interesting. Ecotourism. Can you go off of that a little bit and just go further in detail on how you plan to do that?
Yes. So, we have an abundance of, great, beautiful sceneries we have out here, and we would like to have our tourists, engage themselves and, absorb the natural preservations that we have, and they can do that with either hiking, biking, scuba diving, things like that.
And Priscilla is in the midst of her first week as managing director as she started this position on Monday.
For more news, visit saipantv.com. For KSPN2, I'm Ashley McDowell.
Sports is next with Dave Delgado. Keep it right here.
What's that? An Alpha Insurance customer needs a claim settled immediately? I'm on it.
Agent Alpha. In the event of an accident, theft, or breakdown, each of our Alpha Insure agents are trained to go above and beyond.
This is my stop. There she is. Target acquired.
Agent Alpha. Yes!
Legends aren't born, they are made. And during our Jeep Celebration event at Cars Plus and Mighty, you'll receive up to $6,000 in accessories with the purchase of a new Jeep Wrangler, Motor Trend SUV of the Year. Customize your new Jeep to the way you want it. Or how about a new Jeep Grand Cherokee? Save up to $5,000. Or save up to $7,500 on a new Jeep Compass Sport. It's our Jeep Celebration event going on now at Cars Plus and Mighty. Cars Plus, driven by you.
MTO, professional janitorial services with a warm hospitality touch. MTO gives that gift year-round. Pressure wash roofs, pressure wash driveways, lawn service, home cleaning, carpet restoration, office cleaning, commercial window cleaning, floor care. When cleaning is in order, MTO has you covered. Call 647-6861 to inquire on how you can receive the maintenance you deserve.
MTO, celebrating 30 years with you, Guam.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. We get the show started tonight with some AAG Boys High School Volleyball Championship highlights as the Father Duenas Friars look to defend their high school title. Check it out. The Harvest Eagles and Father Duenas Friars met up at the UOG Calvo Fieldhouse for this year's Boys High School Championship game. FD beat the Ukadu Bulldogs to advance, while Harvest got by Teason High to play in the final game of the season. Friars back in the big game looking to defend their title, led by league MVP Aiden McDonald. Teammate Noah Diaz with the big left-handed finish here. Friars took the first set 25-16. Both teams going straight at each other with aggressive play at the net in the second set. McDonald made his presence felt, putting down some monster kills. Mason Caldwell gave Harvest fans something to cheer about with big shots of his own. Fans enjoyed this rally as both teams fought hard to gain the point. Down 17-7, the Eagles started to slowly chip away at the Friars' lead. Save after save, bodies hitting the floor to extend the rally. Caldwell gets the shot to fall as FD was unable to get the ball back over the net on the return. The celebration was cut short by Aiden McDonald. Nice set to the reigning MVP as he put down another hard shot. Friars close out the set 25-21 and take a 2-0 lead. FD jumped out to a 6-0 lead before Harvest would finally score their first point of the third set. Brandon Soriano contesting the shot attempt. FD's biggest lead was by 7 points. Friars went on a 9-5 run down the stretch and locked in to secure the title with the 25-17 third set win.
I'm very proud of my team. It shows how hard we worked in practice. The work paid off. We figured that as long as we played our game, played to our potential, that we would come out victorious.
The key factor to winning this game was playing defense. I've been playing with my team for the longest time, and we all know our offense just flows naturally. And so our coaches focused us on defense and prepared us for this game.
This game was mostly for Thompson and X, so we really dedicated this game to them, and we hope to come out with a championship just for them.
After a few weeks of weekend bowling, the high school season came to an end with teams and individual bowlers earning some bragging rights. Jeremiah Camacho won the All-Island Boys title representing Ukuru High School. Congrats to the sophomore. Alexandria Leola won the girls title. The freshman bowler is from Teason High. The Teason High boys won the team title for the boys, and for the girls, the season championship was a tie between Notre Dame and the Ukuru High School Bulldogs. Congratulations to J.J. Ambrose on his third consecutive win in the cage this year. His most recent win was over Art Hernandez in the World Fighting Championships via first-round guillotine choke. JJ also received this black belt in the cage after the fight from Tracy Hess. JJ is now 32-8 in his mixed martial arts career. Ambrose already has another fight lined up on June 28th in Japan for the Pancrase Fight Organization.
Pulses per minute. That's the rate of your heartbeat when you were born. And as you grow up, you'll get to meet your awesome crew from over 164,000 people on this island. Together, you'll explore some of Guam's 210 square mile land, where you'll get to enjoy hundreds of things to do, from climbing the highest mountain and more, to exploring the deepest trench and more. But that won't be enough for you, so you'll travel 1,000 miles to experience 1,000 more things, in more places where you'll meet more faces, until you meet that one person with whom you'll be doing 1,000,000 more things with, until you bring another heart that would beat 180 pulses per minute, and we'll be there, giving you more data for more of those experiences.
Turn up summer with Minute Maid slushies, only at McDonald's. Enjoy 3 refreshingly chill flavors, new sweet peach, blue raspberry, and fruit punch, while summer lasts.
Introducing Triple J's Online Shopper, the new, faster, easier way to purchase your next vehicle. Explore hundreds of new and used vehicles in full 360-degree view. Get pre-approved instantly from the comfort of your home or office. Personalize your own finance terms and get top market value on your trade-in in just a few quick, easy steps. Buy with confidence from start to signature, and we'll even go the extra mile to deliver your vehicle to your home or office. Have a question? Our is just a chat away for instant assistance. Click, pick, drive. Complete the entire car buying process with Triple J's Online Shopper and purchase your next vehicle at triplejguam.com today.
Can I just get a right back?
And before we close out the news tonight, our latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
Happy birthday wishes going out tonight to Peter James St. Nicholas. Happy birthday number 17 to Uncle and Nino Peter James. This comes from your very loving goddaughter, Kiani Joy Cabrera. Happy birthday wishes also going out to Ariel. This comes from your entire family. And a happy birthday to one of our own, KUM's Anabuki, who blew the candles out today. Happy birthday to everyone.
Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online on KUAM.com. Please make sure to include with your photo your name and birth date. And that'll do it for us here on the news desk. But stay tuned. Breeze next with Extra.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E. Explore your world.